Just about every form of modern construction uses drywall. So when it comes time to place that heavy picture or heavy object on the wall, what type of drywall anchor should you select? If you're like me, you go to the hardware store and there are a lot of different options. Each option includes different weight ratings. So are these weight ratings really accurate? Also, how much damage does each one of these types of anchors cause? If you're like me, at some point you may want to move out your home and you don't want a lot of repair work to do. Also, if that drywall anchor fails, how much damage is it going to cause? Let's get the testing underway and see which one of these drywall anchors is the best. In order to get accurate test results, I wanted to make sure that we start off with brand new drywall that's never been exposed to moisture. I also made sure that the drywall we used all came from the same stack. I then cut out all the test pieces that we'll be using today. We're about to do a lot of damage to some drywall. Now, each sample of drywall is 16 inches by 16 inches. The reason I chose 16 inches is because inside the wall of your home, there's going to be a 16-inch span between the studs. Also, there's an X on each sample. What we want to do is test from the very center of each piece of drywall to make sure we get accurate test results. Each test sample is attached with 12 drywall screws in approximately the same location to make sure this stays secured. On the back side, you can see the test sample. I used 2x4s and the drywall is very securely attached. This frame is not going to move. I'm going to secure this frame inside my test jig. Once it's in place, we'll begin applying force until each drywall anchor fails. To test the drywall anchors, I'll insert the test piece into the holder. Each piece is held in place by 4 pins. Once the test piece is in place, I'll insert the drywall anchor into the test sample and then the puller into the drywall anchor. We'll apply force until the drywall anchor begins to move, which constitutes failure. The first anchor we'll be testing is the Easy Anchor drywall and stud anchor. It's designed to hold up to 50 pounds. You use a Phillips screwdriver, you place it up against the wall, and you begin a twisting motion. Now, you don't want to over tighten these. Also, the weight rating of 50 pounds is designed for 1/2-inch sheetrock, which is what we'll be using today. Trying to figure out exactly when movement occurred took a lot of effort with the video editing software that I use, and it's subject to interpretation. Near the end of this video, I'll provide 2 charts on our first test. One chart shows the amount of weight when movement began, and the second chart shows the amount of weight required to cause catastrophic failure. As you can see, this type of drywall anchor tends to do a lot of damage when it fails. The Toddler High Performance anchors are rated for 675 pounds in concrete or 69 pounds in drywall that's 1/2 inch thick. A 1/4-inch drill bit is needed for installation. Once the screw is inserted, the anchor expands, locking it into position. Compared to the first drywall anchor that we tested, this type of drywall anchor definitely leaves less damage when it fails. Rated for 79 pounds and 1/2 inch drywall, the Toddler High Performance Snap Screw is a self-drilling drywall anchor. Now, this is actually sort of a combination of the first 2 that we used. This one expands and it's set up like the metal drywall anchor that we tested first. You press the tip of the snap screw anchor into the drywall using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver or screw gun. Drive the anchor clockwise into the drywall until the anchor stops flush with the outer wall surface. Place an item over the anchor and insert any fully threaded screw. Tighten screw flush with item. Pop sound indicates correct installation. So as you can see, when this type of anchor fails, it leaves a lot of damage. Next, we'll be testing hollow wall anchors. These are rated for 85 pounds. As you can see, when this anchor fails, it causes quite a bit of damage. These are toggle bolts designed for drywall and concrete. You'll need a 5/8 inch drill bit to drill the hole in the wall. Next, you'll install the toggle through the hole, and then you'll tighten. So obviously there's a lot of damage. It takes a large hole to begin with, and then of course as it slips, it tends to tear away. The Easy Anchor Drywall Toggle Anchor is rated for 100 pounds. It's self-tapping, so once you drill it into the wall, the toggle pops out, then you tighten the screw, and the toggle tightens up against the wall. So the Toddler High Performance Anchors, the Snap Toggle BA, is actually rated for 238 pounds in drywall and 802 pounds in concrete. It also has a wide range from 3/8 of an inch all the way up to 3 5/8 inches. It's designed for drywall, tile, concrete block, plaster, and more. There are 5 different steps. Step 1 is drill a 1/2 inch diameter hole, hold metal channel alongside the plastic straps, hold ends of straps between the thumb and the forefinger, and pull towards you until the channel rests flush behind wall or ceiling. Pull back and slide plastic cap along straps with the other hand until flange of cap is flush with the wall or ceiling. Snap straps at wall or ceiling by pushing side to side, snapping off straps level with flange of cap, then discard the straps. Place item over flange, insert bolt through item, and tighten until flush against item. The purpose of the next test is to see how much force it takes to pull each one of the drywall anchors directly outward from the panels. So each one of these panels will be in a horizontal position and we'll be applying a force directly upward to see how much force it takes to remove each one of the anchors. The amount of damage caused by this style of wall anchor isn't all that bad. It's about a ½ inch across. Very minimal damage to the back side of the sheetrock. So the amount of damage caused by the second wall anchor is very comparable to the first. Up next, we'll be testing the self-tapping toggler. So the damaged area is about 1.5 inches across and about 1.5 inches high. Okay, we'll be testing the hollow wall anchors next. The amount of damage caused by these hollow wall anchors when they come loose is very significant. That's a pretty big hole, well over 1 inch across and about 1 inch, 1.5 inches tall. So the damaged area caused by this toggle when it was removed from the wall is about 2.5 inches tall by 2 inches wide. This type of toggle is very easy to install. It doesn't have quite as much strength as the other toggle just because there's less contact area with the sheetrock. Now that's a lot of damage, and I don't think that's going to buff out. While the size of the hole is about 2 inches tall and a ½ inch wide, the amount of cratering is about 4 inches by 4 inches. This is definitely the strongest of all the anchors we tested. It does a very good job. When comparing price, there is a direct correlation between price and rated weight capacity. After seeing the amount of damage that takes place from the anchor failing and coming out of the wall, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and spend a little bit more money and buy an anchor that will definitely provide enough strength. In the first test, we compared the rating against when the anchor appeared to begin moving within the drywall. Every anchor except the anchor that's all the way to the right on this chart, the toddler snap toggle, exceeded its capacity. However, the snap toggle came very close. Several drywall anchors far exceeded their capacity. Of course, the testing was done under optimal circumstances with a direct pulling force compared to a bracket or shelf that would apply a lot more leverage on each anchor. Even though the anchors began to move, they didn't experience catastrophic failure until much more weight was applied in every instance. In this scenario, all the anchors far exceeded their capacity. So if you're using a drywall anchor for a shelf, bracket, or towel rack that could experience direct pulling force, this test is very informative regarding failure load. These anchors are not rated for this type of force, but in the real world, this type of scenario does occur. All of the anchors actually did a respectable job. The Blue Hawk toggle and the Easy Toggle cam exceeded their capacity in this test, which is very impressive. So after causing a lot of damage to quite a bit of drywall, I finally figured out which drywall anchor I like the best. I really like the Easy Anchor toggle. It's pretty easy to install, doesn't cost that much money, and it has a lot of strength. While some of the anchors cost a little bit less, they also cause just as much damage during installation and don't provide nearly as much support. So if that drywall anchor fails, then you're going to have some sheetrock repair work to do, which I don't like doing. I really have a lot of fun doing these videos. Just as a reminder, I'm not sponsored by any of these brands. I buy all the products for testing using my own funds. Just want to say thanks so much for recommending this video idea. If you have any video ideas, please let me know. 100% of my videos are viewer recommended, including this one. So thanks so much for recommending this video. Please take care, and I look forward to next time.